Feminism is the worst thing that ever happened to women. Our job used to be no job.
Why men hate this new generation of women so much is because we're finally starting to realize how powerful we are.
Realistically, we are the weakest generation of women in American history. We're living in the most egalitarian time when it comes to genders. The equality fight was not ours. It was our great-grandparents and our grandparents' fight. And they fought that fight so we wouldn't have to. We're living in a time where we're not only equal to men judged by our merits, we're also given advantages simply for being females, for the sake of diversity. Yet all we do is complain. All we do is blame our gender for why we can't do something. Men aren't the ones suppressing us. Women suppress women. As women, we are the last ones to go and support another woman. We're the first ones to critique them and the first ones to bring them down, but the last ones to support them, and yet all we do is blame men. We live in a society where as women we're valued for simply existing. A man with no job and no potential has no value to society, yet a woman with no job and children is still valued in society simply for existing.
Women pay child support. If a former wife is making more money than the former husband, she pays him child support. Child support calculations include how much money you're making and how many overnights with the children you have.
And this is what happens when women hit the big 3-0 and realize that feminism was not all it was cracked up to be. It wasn't as great and wonderful as what they were told all their lives growing up. Like, yes, feminism is going to save you, girl. It's going to take care of you. It's going to remove the patriarchy because you don't need men. Yeah, that's all fine and dandy while you're young, right? While you have the world just giving you all sorts of attention and validation and free jobs and free money, right? Men are giving you free cars, whatever it is. But once you start to lose your social power in society, which again for women happens once they turn 30, they lose their social, their social power, right? Their sexual marketplace value goes down precipitately, goes down dramatically. That is when they kind of start to think to themselves like, hey man, this kind of sucks. I have to sit in traffic all day for 2 hours going to work and then sit at this tiny cubicle and then go home and sit in the same traffic, 2-hour traffic coming back, just trying to get home, and then get on these dating apps and talk to these random men that are sending me dick pics and calling me all sorts of names for still being single in my 30s. This isn't good. Meanwhile, her peers are married, housewives, and happy raising their children, and her peers who are married are not on these dating apps. They're not having to sit in 2-hour traffic to live their lives in some cubicle in some cold city or anything like that. And then she starts to think like, wow, we used to make fun of her. Looks like she made the better decision, right? Because she gets to stay home all day. I mean, what type of idiot do you have to be to have it so good where literally, like as the first lady said in the clip tonight, the comic, she said, we had it so good, ladies. Our job was no job. All we had to do was stay at home, right? I mean, you have to be a complete moron to allow somebody to come along and convince you to leave your house and to get out there into the world and start competing with men and taking these jobs with these companies and going for your advanced degrees at school and doing homework and all of this nonsense that you didn't have to do. Especially if you are a chick who is the least bit good looking, right? You could just be cute. If you're even a 6, I kid you not, if you're even a 6 and above, you have an immense amount of power in the world, right? You can get men to do you favors. Even a 6, guys. I've seen guys, like blue pill guys, obviously, just fall over themselves over a woman who is a 6 in looks, willing to marry that chick off. Right? Have her raise his children. Take care of her. Be a stay-at-home wife. Not have to work. Not have to take part in, not have to get on the hamster wheel and take part in the workforce. Not have to deal with that stress, deadlines, quotas, interviews. I mean, it can be stressful. I mean, men Hey, no problem, right? We thrive on that, right? We thrive on things like that because we want to win. Women are not built the same way. They're just not, right? This is just how we're wired, right? I mean, this is just evolutionary. Right? They're not designed to deal with this stuff. The stress that men do. I mean, obviously they're not, because now women are more miserable than ever, right? I mean, that is true. If you look at the historical chart of when feminism started in the mid-60s, it started in the mid-60s, you can see that compared to women's happiness, like as feminism started to increase, women's happiness declined. It's a hilarious chart to look at. I mean, it's sad, but I shouldn't call it hilarious, right? But it's sad to look at because, again, what kind of dummy do you have to be? What kind of NPC, brain dead mofo do you have to be to allow somebody to come along and scam you into leaving your home to get out there into the world and, go to college, do homework, graduate, get all these degrees so you can go out there and compete against men for these jobs and then get these jobs, which, they're happy to parachute you into, get these jobs and have to deal with all of the stress of being a working woman when, you know what, you could have just had it easy and stayed home, right? You could have just had it easy, man. Dude, if any guy had their choice, if they had that amount of power like a 6 does, where some dude would just marry them off and you could just stay home and just make lunches for the kids and just, wait for your husband to come home and not have to work, that is the life, right? That is the life, okay? I'm good with that. Right? If I was a 6, you don't have to do anything if you're good looking. If you're a female and you're the least bit good looking, you don't have to do much in life. You can kick back and enjoy your short time on this earth because it is short, right? It is short. You can sit back and enjoy it. You could read books. You can reflect. You can stay home. A lot of stay-at-home wives used to watch soap operas. They probably still do, right? Soap operas, you could watch soap operas all day. You could just chill, man. You can engage in hobbies. You can engage in volunteer work. I mean, there are so many things you could do. You could do something creative. You could learn how to paint. I mean, I would be taking full advantage of these things. Instead of getting out there, into the working world, the working environment, and taking a job that I hate with a boss that I hate, especially if the chick was female and you're female, you would definitely hate that, right? Because she was just look to sabotage you at any chance she has. I mean, what kind of idiot do you have to be to take that deal? That is a bum deal that feminism sold these women. And what's even more ridiculous about this is the fact that women are out there still championing feminism, still trying to get more women to leave their homes so they could get out there and, sit in 2-hour traffic and be a cubicle slave for the next 40 years until they retire. And not only that, but I mean, and I'm just talking about the financial aspect, but also be stuck on Tinder or Bumble or Match.com, trying to find the love of their lives, trying to find, their forever dude to settle down with, which is also another lie that they tell these women. You could wait until your 30s, wait till you have your career settled, and then you can go out there and look for the guy. And once they try to do that, they realize that these guys move on to the younger women. Any guys that are their own age, that are high value guys, are dating women half their age, right? And they're now invisible to them. And the only men that want them now are guys who just want to use them as a side chick, want to just use them for their vaginas, right? That's it. And then these guys just hit it and quit it because she no longer has that value, right? And as these women get older, they grow more masculine, lose their femininity. They start to just become more and more less appealing, right? So one thing I'm glad about is we have women who are finally waking up to it. I mean, the smart women are the ones who can actually just hold themselves accountable, because it does take a bit of self-accountability and self-awareness to do that. I mean, the women who are doubling down on feminism, like, no, I made the right decision, they're just these typical modern women that just don't want to be wrong, right? It's like, even if you argue with them and you present facts, they'll just do some mental gymnastics to avoid having to see the truth because they don't want to be wrong. I mean, they have that level of just egotism, right? They don't want to be wrong about anything. So you can't get through those women, and they're just let them live out their miserable lives as, you know, as they are. But for the women waking up, I think it's a great thing, because then they can warn other women, because women will only, you know, for some reason they only listen to other women, right? But at least you have some women waking up out there, and I believe you're going to have a whole lot more in the future just waking up to the malarkey that is feminism and the lie that it has sold a generations of women now, that you can go out there and you don't need to stay home and be in ball and chains and, you know, and be a housewife. No, get out there into the cold and go compete with men. You know, they're realizing that that was all just a facade. But as always, gentlemen, let me know what you think of tonight's coaching video. How you feel about many of these women who are former feminists now wanting to return to a patriarchy where men are in charge. I think it's wonderful. Let me know your let me know your thoughts below in the comments. Love to see you guys in my comments. Always love to read them, so drop those comments below. As always, this is M from the 33 Secrets signing out here. Don't forget to smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, and smash that notification bell as well, so that you're notified whenever I release a brand new coaching video here on the YouTube. More importantly, guys, please make sure that if you love my work, if you love what I'm teaching here, it's adding value to your life, if you want to help me out, jump into 7 Months of Mastery. You're going to get a ton of value out of it. This is my personal program where I teach you how to go out there and approach and close the youngest, hottest, and most beautiful looking women in the world. I'm talking about 8s, 9s, and 10s. I'm not talking about single moms, divorced single moms, damaged women over 30, women with 5 therapists. No, I'm talking about the cream of the crop, just young, attractive, beautiful, and very classic and traditional women who are not like modern women. I teach you where to find these girls, how to cold approach them, and how to bring them into your life. I have many successful students around the world now, many of which have gotten married and had children and had families. It's crazy, with women that are, hate to say it, that are beyond, let's say, a bit out of their league, to put it nicely, right? They were able to get women who were more attractive than they would normally have gotten if they hadn't been in mastery, and women that they probably would not have found if they had never gone through my mastery program and learned my teachings, right? So I teach you this stuff, and I teach you from a red pill perspective. I'm a professional pickup artist. I've been out there for the last 3 decades now. I've been coaching men since the 90s, so I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm doing. I know how to find these girls. I still go out to this very day, and so I'm still fresh in the game, and you're going to learn a ton and get a ton out of value out of my 7 Months of Mastery program, right? And it's really easy to sign up. Well, right now it's only $1 for the entire first month of coaching lessons, so take advantage of it. All you need to do is click the link below in my description box. It will take you over to my website where you can get signed up right now. It just takes 2 seconds, so do that now, and I will see you in my next coaching video.